morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, hope you guys are doing well. Alicia, hope you are well, long time. Hope things are going great for you. Mo, hope you are well. Kabir, hope you are well. Mr. Hussein, hope you are well. Kabir, I'm guessing you're on your way. Yeah. Good morning, every single person. I know it's a Saturday. I know some people are getting an extra couple of hours lie-in. I'm in the office, getting ready to deliver a one-day service accommodation training. So I just wanted to come online and speak to some of you people who are looking to get into service accommodation and answer your questions. This is me kind of getting the rust out before I start the training for 13 people today. So talk to me. Good morning, every single person. How was your week? How was your weekend? What goals did we start? What goals did we smash? What goals did we not smash? Because I know at the beginning of the week, we all write these crazy goals. I'm going to take over the world, just like Pinky in the Brain. And at the end of the week, we haven't done anything about it. So what goals did you start and what goals did you not finish? And what goals are you carrying on onto the next side of the week? Talk to me, guys. Hope you guys are doing incredibly well. So I'm going to be teaching today on service accommodation. I've got 13 people who are going to be coming in here, and we're going to be talking about the A to Z of service accommodation, what you need to do, how to protect yourself, how to protect the assets. A lot of people make this one critical mistake. Because we're teaching you how to get into a property business, which means you don't have to buy the property. Some people take that for granted. But you've got to remember that the whole focus of this business, yes, of course, it's income. Yes, of course, it's cash flow. But the most important thing is protecting the asset, because it's not your asset. Someone has taken time, they've taken money, they've saved lots of money to buy the asset. We're just fortunate enough that we can utilize their asset to also make us some money as well. I know of clients, I know of people, I know of randomers who take on other people's assets, and all they're doing is just milking it for the money, and they don't look after the asset. The problem with that is it messes up the entire industry for every single person, because we'll get landlords that will go on their forums and they'll say, hey guys, listen, I rented my property to a rent-to-renter. I rented my property to a service accommodation person, and they messed it up. And guess what that does? Every single other landlord says, hey, you know what? I'm not interested in working with this person or carrying out this model or considering this. So guys, I can't emphasize enough. Your main focus is protecting the assets, and that's one thing that we're going to speak about throughout today. So 40% of my training, which means the first 2.5, 3 hours of today's training, we're going to be talking about how to protect the asset, how to protect your business. So by protecting your business, you're able to look after the asset, which means you've got scalability, which means the industry lasts a lot longer, which means landlords are not hard done by, and landlords are not campaigning against the idea of renting to us so that we can re-rent their property out. Lee, I hope you're doing well. I know you're on the way. Just give me a buzz when you guys are outside the office. But I look forward to seeing you guys. So, as I mentioned before, service accommodation, and this is probably my new tune. Service accommodation is not what it says on the tin. Of course, I've been guilty before when I got into it. Before I had a better understanding about things, I might have said one or two things that were a little bit hype. But the reality is service accommodation is not what it says on the tin. That's the truth. Service accommodation is an income generator. It's incredible, but it's not what it says on the tin, which means we've got to dig a little bit deeper to be able to understand how much we can genuinely extrapolate from this business and how much we can actually grow the business. You've got to take into consideration VAT. You've got to take into consideration every single thing. Yeah, if you're early, come up. Well, you can't come up yet. But yeah, just give me a shout once you're downstairs. I'll probably have to stop the Facebook Live and come and get you. But, oh no, I can throw the key down outside the window, maybe. Let me know when you're about 2 minutes away. Okay, cool. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read the comments properly, so let me do that. Okay, so Grey Fox, love the name, says, goal I need is to detect my gold mine area. Mr. Fox, you probably, I don't know if you spent some time on my page, you've just hit one of the things, one of my pet peeves. I hate that term gold mine, but that's just me. It means absolutely nothing. Of course, it actually is a gold mine. area for you. But again, I'm just hyping. So it says, the goal I need is to detect my gold mine. Secondly, sorry, gold mine. Second is to try and speak to agents and win that deal. And lastly, which is better, seeing for a brand new apartment or just seek an apartment that might need a lot of refurb, then systemizing. However, need to look at the numbers. Will it be profitable or not? Of course. So look, what you've just said in a nutshell is something that every single person should be considering. Yes, they shouldn't be using that word gold mine, again, when they're talking to me, because they know I'm just going to dig at them. But absolutely, I know what you mean. You need to find an area that works for you. You need to find an area that's profitable. You need to find an area that logistically works out for you if you're managing it yourself or if you're getting a management company, and for your cleaners as well. Number one, you've got to be able to crunch the numbers. That's the most crucial part. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about crunching the numbers in serviced accommodation. Again, a lot of people are being fed headline figures. So there might be some people that say, hey, I can make £2,000 a month. I can make £3,000 on a property. Of course you can. Of course you can. There are some properties that might make you that might make you £6,000 or £7,000 per month. But the reality is you're running an entire business. One of my clients has a property in central London. They pay close to £3,000 per month. But the cost of running that business brings their profit down to £750, £1,000 per month. So it depends on how you run it. Will you get a management company? Will you get a cleaner to handle check-ins and the cleaning? Will you do it all yourself? As I mentioned, when I first started, I bought 2 camping rucksacks from eBay and I ran around every single location in London. That's probably why I've got a bad back now, literally just cleaning this apartment, checking in this guest, putting keys in this lockbox. So you've got to determine how you are going to run it first and then go from there. But absolutely, the numbers are crucial. The numbers are crucial. I've told some people who have got deals in the pipeline to bring those deals, and we're going to iron out those deals and see whether they are actually good deals. Some people are going to be upset today because they've probably got in their mind that these are incredible deals they're about to take on, they're about to buy, but some people will not be able to take on those deals because if the numbers are wrong, you will fail. You will bow out very quickly, and it's going to cause you a lot of crying and a lot of headache and a lot of issues. So again, as I mentioned before, I say it loud, I say it clear. For the people who are in service accommodation, Mr. Rob Mason, he's in service accommodation. He will tell you service accommodation is not what it's portrayed to be on the tin, and you've got to understand exactly what you are doing. You've got to understand how to crunch the numbers. You've got to understand how you are going to run the business, which is why it's important to get yourself some education and get yourself trained. Many people that are getting into service accommodation have no business experience. So it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. So you'll never hear me using the word easy when it comes down to property, but simple means if you follow the process, if you follow the system that have been set out in front of you, then you can definitely start the process of changing your life. You're not going to hear me say, you're going to change your life today from one service accommodation. The truth is, if you can change your life from one service accommodation, then we need to work on that. We really need to work on that. But the whole idea of serviced accommodation, as it is using the rent-to-rent model, is scaling up. So in order to scale, so this is something else that I teach every single person that comes into my training, is the only way that I allow brand new people to scale up is to use profit derived from their first investment, from their first property, to take on the second one. That stops people from being greedy. Because when I fell into this stuff, I got really excited. I said, oh my God, I have an ability to get landlords, agents, developers to give me buildings, to give me properties. And I took every single thing. Fortunate for me, I also sell those deals. So you've got to consider this. If you've got a big appetite, if you're one of those people that are really hungry and you're saying, listen, TJ, I can't just take on one property. I can't just run one property. Then I suggest you get compliant, you become a deal packager, and you shift some of those on. But anyone that comes under my training, you're taking one property, the profit derived from one property is what you're going to use to take on the second one, so we don't get greedy, so we don't start to make the mistakes. I always give this example. You do not start a Tesco supermarket without going through the management training. You've got to know how the tills work. You've got to know how the petrol pump works. You've got to know how long the bread stays on the shelf. You've got to know how to pay your staff. These are things that are crucial. But every single person, and again, I'm guilty of it because I travel around the country telling people get into service accommodation because I believe it's an incredible model. But I don't say to people, take on 50 units, take on 20 units, because guess what? You will fall flat on your face. You will make some mistakes that are going to just completely wipe you out, and then you're going to cry. Then you're going to say, oh my God, I went to TJ's training and then he inspired me to take on 20 properties. And no, he didn't. He inspired you to look into service accommodation. He inspired you to work extremely hard to get one property. Once you get it into your mind that, wow, I've got one property making me £700, £1,000 per month, then you start to build up. So the people who are coming into this training today thinking they're going to get rich tomorrow, they're going to get the shock off their lives, because that's not what I preach. That's not what I teach. I'm teaching you how to protect yourself. I've made a ton of mistakes in service accommodation. I've lost money, I've made money, I've lost lots and lots and lots of money. I've lost relationships, I've lost partnerships in this same business. So I teach exactly what's happened to me, so it doesn't happen to you. I can't foresee a situation where someone can lose £10,000 and still be comfortable. So what I try and do is focus on all the things that are going to go wrong. So we're going to deal with the escorts, we're going to deal with the prostitutes, we're going to deal with the parties, we're going to deal with the fraud, we're going to deal with the stabbing situation that happened in one of my competitors' apartments across the road. Why didn't that stabbing happen in my apartment? Because we've got certain systems in place. But that's also because I've been there, done it. I know that these things happen. But many people who jump into service accommodation, of course, you go on our YouTube, you go on our Facebook page, and of course you're only going to see the juicy stuff. Oh my God, guess what, guys? I've just taken on this big building. Oh my God, guess what, guys? We did £100,000 this month. But no, what about the cost of running a business? What about paying your cleaners? Service accommodation, as I mentioned, is an incredible strategy, and I would never knock it, because that's where I generate my income 3 times over, from service accommodation, from selling service accommodation deals, and from teaching it. It's an incredible model. But take your time, because the business is not going anywhere. I know a lot of people are talking about saturation. Hey, let it saturate. Let the market become saturated. What that does for the smarter business people, it's an incredible opportunity for the genuine people, for the real business people to stand out. Because when the market is saturated, guess what? The people who don't know what they're doing, they're going to slowly fizzle out. And that gives you an opportunity to really scale up your business and become one of the people that stand out in the marketplace. So should you get into service accommodation? You should absolutely. Should you get into rent to serviced accommodation? You should absolutely. I'm preaching a message at the moment with regards to income. And I'm saying, listen, all I care about right now is income, income, income. It allows me to live my life how I want. So should you buy? Of course, if you want to buy. But should you get some rent to serviced accommodation in your portfolio, even if it's just one? Absolutely. Because you have no liability. So in terms of someone else has taken on the liability, someone else has saved the 25% deposit, and your job is to spend some time finding the landlord or the agent that's willing to allow you to benefit from somebody else's hard work. And you can derive 500, 600, 700, 800, £1,000 per month, and you didn't have to buy the property, and you're generating up to 50% of what the owner of the property is making, and they've put down a 25% deposit. You would be absolutely ludicrous not to do it. Victoria, hope you're doing well. Rosalind, hope you are doing well. Kabir said, honestly, love the way you teach. Do you know what it is, Kabir? I wasn't like this when I first started training, of course, because a lot of people want to hear the juicy stuff. But I've seen too many mistakes. I've seen so many people fail in this business, and it shouldn't be that way. It's just misunderstanding. It's just misinformation. I had a client once, I don't know if he's still on my Facebook, who would just take on any deal that I had. So he says, TJ, any deal that you've got on your books that you're selling, I want them. Don't give them to anyone else. Don't offer them to anyone else. I want them. So I'm good at deal packaging. We sell a lot of deals. So I would find a deal. I didn't even crunch the numbers anymore. He just wanted them. So I will pass them over to him, and he'll pay me £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 per deal. But this guy had gone to some event somewhere where he believed the headline figures, and he forgot that you've got to pay Booking.com 15% commission, that you've got to pay Airbnb commission, you forgot you've got to pay cleaners. He just didn't factor anything, didn't even have a deal analyzer, and guess what? He went and borrowed money and money and money and money, and guess what? He's failed dramatically. And this guy I gave 2 developments to. So what does that do? That ruins my relationships with my agents, landlords, and developers, because if the person fails after 3 months, then guess what? It looks bad on me. So this is one of the reasons why, as I said, I don't sell deals anymore to someone who hasn't had any training. Of course, that reduces my income, because I could sell a ton of deals to brand new people. But you don't have to train with me. Just go and get yourself some credible training before you come to me and say, hey, I would like to buy a deal. Because I care more about my relationships with my landlords and agents, because there are less of them. So when I ruin a relationship with a developer because I sold you a deal, then guess what? When they build something else, I'm not going to be the person. Cupid said, how do I buzz in? If you walk backwards just for a moment, let me jump out. Let me jump outside of the window. Victoria, are you on my? You're not on my investor list. If you go to my business page, it's called The Source London. The Source London. Just find that page on Facebook, and I think there should be a link on there. So guys, if you wait there for a moment, ask me any questions in a moment. Walk backwards, Kabir, and I think I can throw the key out to you. One moment. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, Victoria, yeah, pop onto my business page, The Source London, and signing up to the investor list should be on there. Rosalind, hope you are doing incredibly well. As I said, and I will always say this, it might not sit right with some other trainers, but service accommodation is an incredible model, but it's not what's being preached. It's not what's being preached. You are not going to quadruple, or what's 4 times? Yeah, that's quadruple. What's 5 times? What's 5 times? So you're not going to triple, double, quadruple, double, triple, quadruple, and 5 triple. Ha! Okay. 1 second. All right, mate. Yo, come in. All right. I'll throw the key down. Can you catch it? So you've got to use, you see, the fault. Yeah, so you've got to touch it on the elevator and then press 2. One second, guys, I'm still in the building, Okay, so guys are just educating me. 1 second, I was just letting someone in. How do I pronounce this? I'm going to give it a try. It's Mina. Let me know if I just pronounced that correctly. Mina said it's Quin Tipple. See, guys, look, I didn't go to school. No, I did go to school. I just didn't study hard enough. Hi, Biola. Hope you are doing incredibly well. Guys, hit me up with some questions. I'm really getting pumped. These guys are in for an incredible day. One of the reasons I decided to get my own office to do the actual training is because we're going to be here until every single person gets it. So training is going to start at 9:30, 10 o'clock, but I don't think we're going to leave here until every single person gets it. Leah says, isn't it Quin Tipple? Or quintuple? Quin Tipple or quintuple? Yeah, someone should let me know. But yeah, the point I was trying to make is you are not going to 5 times your income. I don't care where you are in the world, even if you're in bloody flipping Knightsbridge. The reality is, if you've got a property that has the ability to generate 5 times, then it means the cost of running that business is also going to be significant as well. So these are things you've got to bear in mind, guys. Service accommodation is incredible and it can change your life, and for many people it will change your life if you actually do what you're supposed to do. But a lot of people are sitting there saying, hey, you know what, I've gone on a training course now, the world is my oyster and things are just going to happen for me. No, you got to go make it happen. But yeah, what you guys need to do is jump on the next training. My next training day, so my next full 1-day training, so not the event, the full 1-day training is on the 9th of November. I think I've got 2 spaces left. That's not scarcity. I believe in the power of scarcity. It's genuine. I think I'm trying to limit it to 12, 13 people max. I think that's the only space that we've got. Kabir, what are you saying? Say hi to the people. Hi, yo, guys. Yo. So yeah, we're going to be talking about service accommodation. I'm going to be teaching every single person here how to start their service accommodation business. We're not going to talk about scaling. There's no point talking about scaling until we've actually learned the business. So we'll really spend time on the legalities, protecting the business, growing your business, and going forward from there. I can't wait to catch you guys soon. If you are thinking about getting into service accommodation, jump into my inbox, say, yes, TJ, I want to get into service accommodation. Ask me how much the price is for the one-day training. I will reply to you, and all you've got to do is ask me to send you the payment link. Please don't ask me for a discount. Please don't say, TJ, oh God, it's a bit expensive. Otherwise, listen, I give a lot of value on my Facebook page, on my YouTube page, and on my 2 serviced accommodation pages. So again, if you're not in a position to pay for a training, I would suggest you go and find the money. However, there's lots and lots of free content. Cupid, you got some people talking to you here. You can sit on your phone. Okay. Someone said, too bad I have to catch the replay, unfortunately. I really hope your live goes great. Oh, thank you. See you soon. Cupid, you got fans. You got fans. Victoria's laughing. Tell me what the joke is. Tell me what the joke is. Tell me what the joke is. So yeah, guys, Kabir's right here. This is a young guy. I find it bad even calling him a kid because he's not a kid. This guy's got a full-blown beard, and you guys know that I'm struggling just for this section of my face to connect. I'm just waiting for my beard to connect, and this guy is telling me he's 15. I don't know whether I believe it or not, but with his tenacity, with his confidence, with his resilience, I really think this guy's like 25. Who heard that story? Let me tell you guys this story. I was listening to the news recently. There was a girl who got adopted by a family. She was supposed to be a 6-year-old girl, and then when they took her home, they found out that she's actually like a 22-year-old woman disguised as a 6-year-old person. I think that's what Kabir is. I think Kabir is actually really 22. This guy's really mature. So I had him at one of my live events where I teach people, I give people an intro to get into service accommodation. I said, Kabir, do you want to come up and talk? And the next thing I know, Kabir jumps up on stage and says, hey guys, listen, I'm going to do a live call right now on Call Agents. And I was like, listen, I never had that confidence. In fact, many people that I teach don't even have that confidence. So we're going to do some live calls today. I'm actually happy he's here because he might be able to lead these guys here and show them actually how it's done. Guys, a lot of service accommodation is just finding the right deal, number one. And then, of course, it's them running the business. Service accommodation is a business. I've stopped calling it a strategy. I've stopped calling it whatever. It's a full-fledged business. Okay. Rosalind said, TJ, do you think it will be worth offering to pay for some internal and external painting if you have a great location for service accommodation? Absolutely. Absolutely. So in some properties, I haven't taken on any older properties in quite a while, but I'll give the example of one of my properties, 9B Fenwick Road. It was in Peckham Rye. It needed some work to be done. So I negotiated 2 months rent-free because I was willing to do the work myself. The problem is I am crap at handiwork, but I needed to save some money. So I was able to kit up the place myself, and it probably wasn't the best deal because I'm terrible. I can't paint and I can't fix shelves and all those kind of things. I eventually got there, but again, it allowed me to get into the property without paying any money. So again, can you do no money down deals? Yes and no. Does money have to go into the deal? Yes, at some point with someone else's money. But that deal that I got 2 months rent-free technically is no money down because I was able to start generating money from this property before I had to pay anything, essentially. It was direct to landlord, so there were no agency fees, nothing. I had to pay for some paint, I had to pay for some masking tape, and eventually, the truth is, eventually I had to call a professional painter to come in because I had messed up the entire place. Yeah, me and handiwork just don't go hand in hand. Kabir says, I've got that kind of genetics. Listen, I need that genetics. So, Rosalind, you don't want to do any external work at all. That's not your place. But when it comes down to internal, it depends on the quality. It depends on the work. I mean, if they're asking you to gut out the entire place, don't do it. Please do not go around spending £10,000. Don't go around spending £5,000 on somebody else's property. If you're going after furnishing, maybe that's something that you can consider if you're leasing the furniture. But please do not physically spend that sort of money on somebody else's property. The whole idea of rent to rent means you get into the property with as little money as possible to get as much out as possible. Doesn't mean you don't provide a great service. You don't want to do what I did when I started, which is taking on shitty little flats, paying minimal rent, providing a crappier service and taking as much money out as possible, because it's not sustainable. As I mentioned before, what you're going to see sooner rather than later is the crappy providers, the people who don't spend time and some money on making the place and the experience great. They're going to fizzle out, because reviews are everything. So, Mr. Grey Fox said, TJ, how do you get around the 90 days? You can't get around the 90-day rule, and it's a law. Many people think it's an Airbnb thing. It's a law. The law's stipulated. We're going to go through that today. I'm going to share with the people in this room what I do, what you shouldn't do, what you should do, and most importantly, many people should be thinking about operating outside of London. If you are brand new to serviced accommodation, you have no reason not to operate outside of London, especially with management companies at bay, especially with the ability to build a team outside of your location. If you are brand new, I'm preaching, get out of London. But again, we'll talk about that in depth during the training day as well. So there are so many different tactics that everyone's preaching. The fact is, if you're already here, start thinking of ways to protect yourself or maybe get out of the market. But the 90-day rule is actually not what many people think. It's not what I'm pretty confident, Mr. Fox, it's not what you think it is. So Rosalind said it's a 4-bed with a small 4th and a non-existent 5th room. Better for en suite. Yeah, so definitely don't build a bathroom into someone's property. Don't go around doing that unless you own the actual property. Hope you're well, Ben. Romana, hope you are doing incredibly well. Who else have we got online? I've missed out a few people. Junaid, hope you are doing incredibly well. Rafal, hope you are doing well. Chamila, let me know if I pronounced that correctly. Hope you are doing incredibly well. Victoria says, totally agree. I always think of my guest experience when they stay at my SA. Look, something that I've always done and something I will forever do as I take on new units is stay in my apartment. So I know some of you guys are married, some of you have got kids, so of course you can't just disappear for 2 nights because your partner's going to think you're cheating. But the reality is the best way to test out the experience is to stay in the apartment yourself. One thing that I do, I haven't done in a while, but one thing I do, or I did, is stay in every single apartment. Because you get to hear the foxes in the night. You get to hear which neighbours have the loudest sex. You get to know what the potential complaints are going to be, and you get to know whether they're genuine complaints. You're going to get some people who say, I've had it before, hey, I couldn't sleep, this property was so loud, there was so much noise outside. But if you stayed there, if you've tested it, if you've used the shower yourself, you know about the potential things that they can potentially complain about, and you can rectify it and fix these things. So many of us are going blindly into it, then you get the complaints, and someone says, well, the shower doesn't work as well as it should work, and you're like, well, I'm not refunding you. Well, you know what? If I've booked into a hotel, which I enjoy a nice long shower, I need that shower to be working properly. So if I've trusted you to use your service accommodation and the shower power is crap, then I will be asking for a refund. So these are things you've got to take into consideration, guys. Okay? Moshin, hope you're doing incredibly well. We're due to catch up soon. So if you're ever in London, as I said, my office is here in London. Yeah, let's meet up. Sophia, hope you're doing incredibly well. Israel, love that name. Hope you are doing well. Amazing. Rosalind said, I did that in my Norfolk one. It helped me fix before it was let. Biola said, can you refurbish for a landlord that cannot afford to put the house to an SA standard? Absolutely. Absolutely. But make sure you get paid back in terms of minus rent. Make sure you get paid back in terms of rent-free. So the first thing you want to be doing, if the house needs some work, then you've got to be negotiating with the landlord to say, hey, Mr. Landlord, Mrs. Landlord, you can't afford to do it, no problem. Don't walk away from a deal because of that. Use it to your advantage. Say, hey, this property looks like it's going to need around £10,000 worth of work. Mr. Landlord, Mrs. Landlord, I'm happy to do it. I have a client that's taken on, this was about 6-7 months ago, they've taken on a property that, thankfully, the husband is a builder. I was watching something on YouTube just recently. I wish I didn't go to university. I wish I became a builder. I'd have made so much more money. But her husband is a builder, and they've taken on a project that allows them to, they're not going to pay rent for around 6-7 months. They're not going to pay any rent for 6 or 7 months because they're going to do the work. But in reality, all the husband probably needs to do is spend a good 2 weeks fixing up the property, but they've negotiated 6-month rent free because the landlord didn't have the cash or doesn't have the desire to fix it themselves. Victoria said, that's a good idea. Should book a night in my SA. You should absolutely. And for anyone that's got a management company that's running your property, if you have not booked your own property with your management company, then what the heck are you doing? How do you know if they're doing things correctly? How do you know if the cleaners are going there on time? How do you know if this is what you're paying people for? And even secondly, if you haven't got a management company, absolutely book your own property. Make sure you shut the calendar off so you don't get a double booking, but stay in there. Stay in there. Know your product before you offer it to someone else. Tandy said, TJ, I want to go into SA in London, not sure where to start. Tandy, I run a free program. I don't. That's for young kids, young adults. Tandy, jump in my inbox. You might have missed the message earlier on. I tried to make it as clear as possible. If you want to get into service accommodation, I'm happy to train you. So today I'm training 13 people. Cupid, what's the time? Oh.
9:16.
9:16. Okay, so at 9:30, I'm training 13 people on how to get started in service accommodation, how to grow the business, how to protect the business, how to protect the assets, how to generate an income from this strategy. So jump in send me a private message. Just say, hi TJ, I want to get involved. When's the next training? And how much is it? And I will send you that information and I'll get you the payment link. Pay up. Let's get you rocking and rolling. No time like now. So, Mr. Grey Fox, is that your real name? I like that name so much. So Mr. Grey Fox said, there's a guy that came to me yesterday. He's running a pub and kind of a Cameroonian restaurant. He needs £3,000 to partner with him. Since his previous partner took the investment money and ran off, I asked him how big the place was, and I'm in shock. It's got kitchen, big space, and dance floor. And guess what? It comes with a 4-bed on top of that. Rent is $1,400. How would you go about it? Of course. So this is something that I get approached by often in terms of, should I JV with this person? Should I work with this person? Number one, before you JV with someone, what's their track record? I see on a lot of these big Facebook groups, someone says, hey, I've got a deal. And then all of a sudden, someone says, hey, I'll JV with you. Or someone says, hey, I'm looking for a JV. And someone says, hey, I'll give you money. Listen, money is a relationship. Before you put down any money with any person, understand two things: what they stand for, what their ethics are. This is the biggest mistake I'm seeing in property. Everyone says, I've got money, I've got time, and you put them together, but there's an expectation. What is this person like? What are they like when it comes down to money? What do they expect from you? You don't just go and get married to the first person you date. Well, for some people, you guys were fortunate enough. Well, actually, I don't know whether you're fortunate because you didn't get to try out the marketplace. But build a relationship. If the deal is time sensitive, then I know this sounds crazy, and if I was your mentor, I would say walk away. A time sensitive deal, especially when it comes down to money, is only going to lead to a bad experience if you don't have the time to actually analyze things properly and get to know the person. So take your time. I'm sure the deal's not going anywhere. Mr. Edward, hope you are well. Denzel, hope you are doing incredibly well. Lilia, hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for logging in. I really can't wait. I can't wait for these guys to come. I guarantee one thing, that they're going to get blown away. They're not going to walk away from this thinking they're going to be rich tomorrow, but they're going to walk away with clear strategies on how to actually grow their service accommodation business and what to expect. Let me know in the comment section, for the guys who are thinking about going into service accommodation, did you know that you are going to be faced with escorts? Did you know you are going to be faced with the idea of prostitutes? Did you know that they're going to be parties? Did you know that fraud is a big, massive part? Are you aware of what chargebacks are and how to protect yourself and how to ensure that there's a chance that you win that chargeback? Because it will happen. Let me know if you're aware of these things, because as I said, of course, when you come to my 2-hour introduction to serviced accommodation, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, people get stabbed in serviced accommodation. Obviously, that only happened once in London, but it makes an incredible case study. I'm not going to do that. I'm telling you about the strategy overall, what can be achieved, what other people are doing, and why you should do it. But in the reality is, right here, this is where champions are made. In the gym, in the office. No, I'm joking. But so Mr. Fox said, really, absolutely. So we're going to spend a good 40%, 2.5, 3 hours talking about What goes wrong? People hijacking your property. What are you going to do when someone hijacks your property? Because it happens on a monthly basis. I don't speak to people on a monthly basis, but I know it happens monthly because of the amount of times it's happened to me. I've pressed charges. It's actually happened to me before. Someone's hijacked my property, resold my property to someone else, and someone's moved in. So again, what do you do when this happens, especially if you're in a rent-to-rent? You can't say to the landlord, hey, Mr. Landlord, Mrs. Landlord, I'm really sorry, I was negligent, someone took over my property, someone re-rented it to someone else, now I can't get them out. The landlord's going to say, well, you still need to pay the rent, and we need to factor or figure out how to get these people out. So I can name you 100 things that will go wrong. And it's not because I'm being negative, I want you to know the reality so we can learn how to get over them together so you can actually run a proper business. That's why no one becomes a Tesco manager overnight. You've got to have some experience. That's why you don't start a software business overnight. That's why you don't become Facebook overnight or Instagram overnight. You've got to have built some prototypes. You've got to have gone through some ups and some downs. And that's what we go through right here in the training. So again, if you're thinking about serviced accommodation, then yes, holler at me. No discounts, please don't try and negotiate with me on my fee. Not for any reason. In fact, I would respect you for it, but I'm not going to because I know what you're going to get out of here. So Mr. Fox said, an agency once told me I don't want to rent to a company for service accommodation, but to an individual. Okay, how would you know how would you know if these brand new apartments can be used for service accommodation? Fantastic, you've got to ask the questions. If you're going with a landlord directly, it's always easier because you can say, Mr. Landlord, does your mortgage product permit? Most likely the mortgage product does not permit. You can guide the landlord through that process. But you've also got to factor in, are you able to guide that person or negotiate with a landlord to change their entire mortgage product? Because it's not free. They're going to have to get themselves a broker. It's going to cost them money. They might not qualify. There are a number of things, but when you're working with an agent, you ask the same question. Mr. Agent, Mrs. Agent, this is what I want to use the property for. Can you find out from the landlord whether the lease in the building permits it, whether the landlord has the correct mortgage product? And what you should be doing is asking to see that specific document, just for your own peace of mind. Tandy, hope you are doing incredibly well. Okay, cool. I think, what's the time? Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to shoot off because it's 9:30. It's coming up to 9:30, so I need to go and get people from downstairs so that we can start this for 10 o'clock on the dot. I wish you guys all the best. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.